Not every American RV made it through the boom in one piece. In 2026, the damage is finally showing. Deep discounts, repeat repairs, and resale values collapsing faster than owners expected. What looks affordable today can turn expensive fast, but the market didn't punish everyone. A few RVs took a slower, smarter path, and now they're standing out. In this video, we're exposing the 3 worst American RVs buyers should avoid in 2026, and the 4 best that are still holding value. Once you see the pattern, the difference is impossible to ignore. Let's break it down. Forest River Salem Cruise Light. Price tags do not fall like this unless something underneath is breaking. Across dealer lots, these travel trailers look clean, modern, and harmless. Yet, behind the fiberglass, the Forest River Salem Cruise Light reveals exactly how the RV boom turned into a liability problem for anyone buying between 2024 and 2026. Production exploded when demand surged. Forest River responded by pushing volume hard, more units per day, faster assembly, less margin for inspection. That decision shows up in ownership data quickly. Dealer service departments report early electrical faults, loose cabinetry, and seal failures appearing within the first 12 months, not years, months. Here is where the money damage begins. Wholesale auction sheets from late 2025 show Salem Cruise Light units clearing $12,000 to $18,000 below original dealer invoice. That gap is not cosmetic. It reflects how quickly confidence disappeared once repair patterns became predictable. When multiple units return for the same fixes, pricing collapses. Another pressure point hides in plain sight. Floor plan financing. Dealers borrow to keep inventory parked on their lots. When a unit sits too long, interest compounds weekly. Salem Cruise Light models from 2024 were still unsold deep into 2026. Each month, unsold forced deeper discounts just to stop the bleeding. That urgency transfers directly into resale losses later. Owners feel it next. Warranty coverage sounds comforting, but downtime costs real money. Trips canceled. Storage fees continue. Trade-in offers drop sharply. Once service records show repeat visits, even a well-maintained RV gets punished because the model name itself becomes flagged by buyers doing basic research. The most damaging part is timing. These units depreciate hardest in the first year, precisely when owners expect stability. Instead, the market reacts faster than most realize. Listings show identical floor plans, priced thousands apart, based solely on repair history. That volatility is poison for long-term ownership math. What looks affordable at purchase quietly drains value afterward, not through one catastrophic failure, but through accumulated small problems that erode trust. The Salem Cruise Light did not fail overnight. It failed through speed, volume, and shortcuts that only reveal themselves once the paperwork is signed. Those pressures ripple outward into insurance evaluations, lender caution, and lower appraisal baselines across entire regions, reinforcing the downward spiral long after initial discounts disappear from window stickers. That chain reaction sets the stage for a different kind of failure waiting ahead. It is quieter, heavier, and far more expensive to unwind once ownership begins. That reality defines what comes next. Thor Motor Coach Freedom Elite. Silence on a dealership lot tells you more than any advertisement ever could. Rows of Thor Motor Coach Freedom Elite units sit untouched. Keys hanging, price stickers fading under the sun. That stillness signals oversupply, and oversupply is poison for a RV's value the moment paperwork is signed. The Freedom Elite surged during the demand spike. Thor Motor Coach increased output aggressively between 2023 and 2026, assuming buyers would never slow down. Demand cooled. Production did not. That mismatch created inventory pressure that dealers are still carrying today. Proof shows up in pricing sheets. Dealer listings from late 2025 reveal Freedom Elite Class C motorhome units originally marked at $129,995, later reduced to $101,000 just to clear floor plan debt. Those are not courtesy discounts. They are emergency exits. The financial risk does not stop at purchase. High production volume introduces inconsistency. Owners report slide alignment problems, trim separation, and repeated electrical faults within the first year. Some units perform well, others return to service bays repeatedly. Markets do not price individually. They average risk across the nameplate. That averaging effect matters. When resale data absorbs inconsistent reliability, trade-in Trade-in offers fall quickly. Lenders tighten. Insurance adjusters flag models with elevated claim frequency. Even owners with trouble-free units watch value sink because perception moves faster than facts. Another pressure hides behind the dashboard. Warranty repairs consume time. Weeks without use still cost storage, insurance, and depreciation. Each documented repair becomes part of the vehicle's history, lowering negotiation leverage later. The Freedom Elite's issue is not catastrophic failure. It is accumulation. Auction results underline the pattern. Wholesale platforms show multiple Freedom Elite units selling below dealer acquisition cost, confirming that inventory saturation is real, not regional. Once that data circulates, pricing resets permanently lower. What makes this especially costly is timing. Class C motorhomes experience the steepest depreciation during the first 2 years. When price drops accelerate inside that window, owners lose flexibility, selling early locks in losses, holding longer risks. Further, erosion. The Freedom Elite represents how scale backfires when markets shift. Production decisions made during optimism collide with slower demand, and owners absorb the impact through lower values and higher friction. That collision leaves a lesson hanging in the air, because another model on this list shows what happens when early warning signs are ignored entirely. Those ignored signals always resurface later as deeper discounts, tougher negotiations, and fewer exit options. Understanding this pattern matters, because the following example demonstrates how similar warning signs escalate even faster when manufacturing discipline slips further. The consequences compound quietly, long before advertisements adjust, leaving unsuspecting owners exposed without leverage when markets turn. Before we move on, if this breakdown is helping you avoid expensive mistakes, take a second to like this video, subscribe for market updates, and share your perspective below. Your feedback shapes what gets investigated next and what stays hidden. Coachmen R-V Catalina Legacy Edition. Water never announces itself loudly at first. It whispers. When a Coachmen R-V Catalina Legacy Edition begins leaking early, value starts draining before most owners realize what changed. Between 2024 and 2026, production volume became the priority. Quality discipline slipped quietly. Assembly speed increased. Inspection windows narrowed. By the time service departments noticed repeat roof seal failures, damage had already begun. Owners document soft flooring, loose trim, and moisture intrusion within the first year. Those issues are not cosmetic. Water alters structure. It triggers mold risk. It multiplies repair costs. Dealers feel it next. Warranty claims spike. Service bays clog. Units sit longer. Floor plan interest keeps ticking. Pricing sheets adjust downward fast. Auction records from late 2025 show Catalina Legacy Edition travel trailers clearing $15,000 to $20,000 below original dealer invoice. That spread is not seasonal. It reflects confidence collapse. Once water issues attach to a model name, buyers hesitate. Lenders tighten. Insurers ask questions. Trade offers shrink. Even well-maintained units get lumped together. The financial math turns hostile. Depreciation accelerates inside the first ownership window. Selling early locks losses, holding longer risks, further erosion. That is why this model sinks faster than others with similar price tags. Coachmen pushed volume to satisfy dealer demand during the boom. When demand cooled, inventory remained. Discounts followed. Then deeper discounts arrived. Each reduction trained the market to expect more. Once expectations reset lower, recovery becomes nearly impossible. Documentation compounds the problem. Online owner reports stack. Service invoices circulate. Photos spread. Reputation shifts. Resale follows. The Catalina Legacy Edition becomes flagged, regardless of individual condition. That label sticks. It explains why some dealers quietly steer shoppers elsewhere. Not because every unit fails, but because enough did. Markets react to patterns, not promises. The real cost is stress, missed trips, storage fees, insurance payments, repair delays. Every month waiting drains value. Every fix documented narrows exit options. That reality makes this the weakest link on this list, a warning light disguised as affordability. That pattern sets the stage for a sharp reversal, because once water becomes the story, trust disappears, and when trust leaves, prices follow. Understanding that sequence matters, because the remaining names show what happens when shortcuts are not taken. Those survivors reveal how restraint protects value when markets shake. That contrast is impossible to ignore, especially when repair histories start deciding outcomes long before listings ever appear. The difference is discipline, and its absence leaves no hiding place. That truth ends the conversation here, while opening another that deserves careful attention. Those final lessons linger, shaping decisions quietly, saving thousands later, avoiding regret, preserving leverage, and preventing rushed choices when pressure returns again during future buying moments ahead soon enough. Pause. What you've just seen is the damage side of the market. What happens when speed, volume, and shortcuts collide with slow slowing demand, discounts deepen, confidence disappears, value leaks out quietly. But that is not the full picture, because while some manufacturers cracked under pressure, a few took the opposite path. Slower production, tighter builds, fewer promises. What comes next are the American R-Vees that didn't chase the boom and are paying for that restraint now. Jayco Jay Feather. Restraint rarely looks impressive on a dealer lot, yet it shows up clearly on balance sheets months later. The Jayco Jay Feather earns its place here not by avoiding depreciation, but by slowing it. That difference matters when the broader RV market is cutting prices to survive. Jayco resisted the urge to chase volume when demand peaked. Production stayed measured. Floor plans evolved slowly. Materials remained familiar. That decision limited inventory pressure once traffic cooled. Dealers were not forced into panic pricing, which preserved confidence across the nameplate. Service data supports that discipline. Dealer maintenance logs from 2025 show fewer first-year warranty claims compared to similar lightweight travel trailers. Issues still exist, but patterns do not repeat aggressively. That distinction keeps repair costs predictable and downtime shorter. Pricing behavior tells the same story. Listings from early 2026 show Jay Feather units adjusting modestly rather than collapsing. Instead of dropping $15,000 at once, prices step down in smaller increments. That controlled movement signals stability to lenders and insurers. That stability protects leverage. Trade offers remain usable. Insurance valuations do not crater. Owners retain options instead of being boxed into holding longer than planned. In a soft market, flexibility is currency. Another factor works quietly in the background. Jayco parts availability. Standardized components reduce repair delays. Faster fixes mean fewer extended service stays. Every avoided delay saves storage fees and lost use time, which indirectly preserves value. The Jay Feather also benefits from conservative weight targets. Frames are not pushed to their limits. That reduces stress over time and lowers the risk of structural fatigue. It is not flashy engineering. It is cautious engineering, and cautious engineering survives downturns. Used market behavior confirms it. 2- and 3-year-old Jay Feather units consistently trade within a narrower price band than many competitors released during the same window. That narrower band reflects trust. Trust moves markets faster than advertisements. None of this means the Jay Feather is immune to depreciation. All RVs depreciate. The difference lies in slope. This model declines gradually instead of sliding abruptly. That slope determines whether an exit feels manageable or painful. Jayco's approach proves a simple principle. Avoiding shortcuts during good times pays dividends when conditions tighten. While others rush to discount, this line holds its footing. That footing matters now because the next example steps further away from volume pressure and deeper into controlled production. The contrast sharpens. When material choices change, manufacturing pace slows again, and the math behind long-term ownership becomes even more revealing. Lance Camper, Lance, 1995. Some manufacturers slowed down when others sped up, and that decision shows clearly in resale numbers. The Lance Camper Lance 1995 reflects restraint instead of reaction. Production stayed limited through the boom years, keeping inventory pressure low. That choice matters once demand cools. Used listings from late 2025 show Lance 1995 units trading within 10 to 12% of original transaction pricing. That narrow band signals confidence. Confidence protects leverage. Lance avoided aggressive floor plan expansion. Dealers were not forced to discount rapidly. Pricing adjustments occurred gradually, preserving market trust. Construction choices support that outcome. Frames remain conservative, reducing long-term stress. Weight targets were respected instead of pushed. That restraint lowers fatigue over time. Repair records reflect fewer structural complaints during early ownership. Problems still occur, yet patterns do not repeat frequently. That distinction keeps service visits predictable. Predictability reduces downtime. Downtime quietly drains value. Lance also benefits from controlled distribution. Fewer units on the market prevent saturation. Saturation destroys resale math. Insurance assessments remain steadier on this model. Lenders view depreciation curves as manageable. That perception matters during trade negotiations. Owners retain options rather than being forced into long holds. The 1995 does not eliminate loss. It slows the slope. Slower slopes preserve planning flexibility. Planning flexibility saves money later. Lance built fewer promises and kept more of them. That reputation compounds quietly. It attracts buyers even during downturns. Downturn resilience separates survivors from casualties. That separation sharpens as the list continues because the remaining names take restraint even further. The contrast becomes clearer once construction philosophy shifts again. Materials change, production slows further, and the math behind ownership tightens noticeably. That shift explains why the final examples stand apart. They resist panic, resist shortcuts, and resist volume temptation. Those decisions echo years later. They shape repair histories, resale curves, and exit timing. Understanding that pattern reduces regret. Regret costs more than patience. That lesson sets the stage for what follows. The next RV demonstrates how deeper structural discipline changes outcomes. It shows what happens when leaks are engineered out instead of repaired later. That distinction reshapes ownership math. Repair bills shrink. Confidence rises. Markets respond. The difference feels subtle at purchase. It grows louder over time. That growth determines whether value erodes slowly or collapses quickly. Patience rewards discipline. Discipline rewards owners. Those rewards are not emotional, they are financial, and they accumulate quietly. That quiet accumulation defines long-term satisfaction. Satisfaction comes from fewer surprises. Fewer surprises preserve confidence. Confidence preserves choice. Choice preserves leverage. Leverage preserves money. That chain reaction explains why restraint wins. With that understanding, attention shifts forward. Another build philosophy waits ahead. It changes expectations permanently. Those changes close this comparison. Value stays protected longer. If you want clear, evidence-based breakdowns like this before price shifts hit the public, make sure you subscribe now. These updates take time to track, and staying ahead only works if you're here when the next warning surfaces appears publicly. Oliver Travel Trailers, Legacy Elite 2. Problems usually announce themselves through patterns, and the absence of patterns can be just as revealing. The Oliver Travel Trailers Legacy Elite 2 stands out because the usual warning signs never materialize. No flood of discounted units, no service backlog spikes, no reputation slide. That absence explains why value behaves differently here. The foundation starts with production philosophy. Oliver never chased volume. Units are built slowly, deliberately, and sold. Factory direct. That removes dealer floor plan pressure entirely. Without interest, clocks ticking, pricing decisions remain calm even when markets soften. Calm pricing stabilizes expectations. Expectations protect value. Construction choices reinforce that stability. The Legacy Elite 2 uses double-hull fiberglass shells bonded together, eliminating the most common leak paths found in conventional RVs. Water intrusion complaints remain among the lowest reported across multiple ownership surveys spanning more than 5 years. Fewer leaks mean fewer cascading repairs. Fewer repairs preserve resale confidence. Proof shows up in secondary markets. Listings from late 2025 show Legacy Elite 2 models selling with smaller spreads between asking and closing prices compared to mass-produced travel trailers. That tighter spread reflects trust. Buyers believe what they are seeing. Sellers retain leverage. Service records confirm the story. Warranty claims skew toward minor adjustments rather than structural fixes. That difference shortens downtime. Shorter downtime reduces ownership friction. Friction quietly drains money through storage, missed use, and repeated labor charges. The Elite 2 avoids that trap. Another layer matters financially. Parts consistency. Oliver uses standardized components across production years. That simplifies repairs and speed sourcing. Faster repairs cost less. Less cost means fewer documented service events. Fewer events preserve cleaner histories. Clean histories command stronger offers later. The factory direct model also changes negotiation dynamics. Without dealers racing each other to unload inventory, price erosion slows. Owners are not undercut by neighboring lots, slashing identical units. Market messaging stays consistent. Consistency protects valuation curves. None of this suggests immunity. All RVs depreciate. The distinction lies in predictability. Predictable depreciation allows planning. Planning preserves options. Options reduce when ownership horizons shift unexpectedly. The Legacy Elite 2 proves restraint works. It proves engineering out problems costs less than repairing them later. It proves slower production outperforms aggressive expansion when markets correct. That lesson becomes sharper when contrasted with what remains, because the final example pushes longevity even further. It draws from decades of refinement, different materials, and a reputation that outlived multiple market cycles. That heritage changes outcomes again. The remaining name does not rely on novelty or scale. It relies on survival. Survival leaves evidence everywhere. That evidence defines the final step in this progression. Airstream Classic. History leaves fingerprints long after markets forget headlines. The Airstream Classic proves that survival matters more than scale. While competitors chased volume during the boom, this aluminum-shaped RV followed a slower rhythm. That restraint shows up clearly when prices soften and confidence disappears elsewhere. Airstream production remained controlled through the surge years. Output never exploded. Dealer lots never flooded. That discipline prevented inventory pressure from forcing panic discounts later. When demand cooled, pricing stayed firm because supply never overwhelmed it. Stability begins there. Construction choices carry equal weight. Aircraft-grade aluminum shells replace laminated walls. Riveted panels flex instead of cracking. Seams are visible, inspectable, and repairable. Water intrusion complaints remain rare compared to conventional builds. Fewer leaks prevent cascading failures. Cascades destroy value faster than depreciation alone. Secondary market data confirms the pattern. Auction records from late 2025 show Airstream Classic units clearing 20 to 30% higher than comparable travel trailers released during the same years. That premium persists even during liquidation events. Markets reward survivability. Service histories reinforce it. Repairs skew toward wear items rather than structural failures. Downtime stays shorter. Shorter downtime reduces ownership friction. Friction costs money quietly through storage fees, missed use, and repeated labor. The Classic minimizes that bleed. Another layer matters: parts longevity. Aluminum panels age differently. They resist rot. They tolerate repair without full replacement. That extends service life and simplifies restoration. Simplification preserves value deep into ownership cycles. The brand also benefits from cultural memory. Buyers recognize the silhouette instantly. Recognition reduces skepticism. Reduced skepticism narrows negotiation spreads. Narrow spreads keep pricing predictable. Predictability allows planning. Planning protects leverage. Depreciation still exists. No RV escapes it. The distinction lies in curve shape. The Classic declines slowly, not abruptly. Slow decline preserves exit options. Exit options prevent forced decisions during bad timing windows. Airstream also avoided feature overload. Systems remain understandable. Simplicity reduces failure points. Fewer failure points lower warranty exposure. Lower exposure stabilizes resale math. The Classic demonstrates how long-term thinking outperforms short-term gains. It shows that building fewer units with durable materials beats racing competitors to the bottom. That lesson echoes through decades of ownership data. When markets correct, survivors become benchmarks. Others chase them unsuccessfully. The Classic already stands there and needs no proof. Endurance builds trust, and trust preserves money. Cycles turn quietly. The payoff appears later, when panic discounts fade, and this shape remains steady, recognizable, respected, and financially survivable over time always. The RV market doesn't reward rushed decisions. It exposes them. Some of these rigs will keep losing value quietly, while others hold their ground when pressure hits. Knowing the difference is how you protect your money before the next wave of price cuts shows up. If this breakdown helped you see the market more clearly, hit like. It tells the algorithm this matters. Subscribe for real RV market updates before they go mainstream, and drop a comment below. Which RV surprised you most, or which one are you watching right now?